all sides involved in the Syrian conflict for ensuring a safe access to healthcare in the country. The WHO requested to guarantee the safeguard of health personnel, health centers, and the continuity of medical services. On November 27th, terrorist groups launched a large-scale overnight offensive against the National Armed Forces, taking over several cities and proclaiming a coup to the Bashar al-Assad's government. The office of Russian President Vladimir Putin confirmed on Monday that he personally authorized political asylum for Syrian President Bashar al-Assad and his family. Likewise, the head of the office, Dmitry Peskov, reaffirmed that Moscow remains committed to dialogue among all regional countries regarding Syria. In addition, the diplomat warned that a very complex time is approaching associated with instability in the Arab nation. Nonetheless, the Kremlin spokesperson did not provide any details on the whereabouts of President al-Assad, noting that no meeting between the Russian head of state and his new guest has been scheduled yet. In Venezuela, the Ayacucho 1824-2024 International Colloquium concluded, recalling the relevance of the battle as a political symbol and the validity of the call for unity among the peoples of the Americas. The President of Venezuela, Nicolás Maduro, greeted the closure of the forum, highlighting and praising the successful results of this meeting that brought together several historians of Latin America. He also highlighted the importance of this great historical battle for the construction and development of the Latin American peoples. Maduro made a call to join communicational efforts to publish the papers and speeches of the Ayacucho International Colloquium, and referring to the future of these events, he urged to be inspired by the conquest of the liberating armies and not by the foreign ones. Also in Caracas, Venezuela, Latin American historians and researchers called for Latin American unity during the closing of the International Colloquium Ayacucho 1824-2024, an event that debated the historical transcendence of this battle and its relevance in the regional scenario. Luis Francisco Blandón with the report.
In the second
cycle of conference, historians and opinion experts reflected on the significance of the Battle of Ayacucho up to the present day and how it can inspire new forms of integration and cooperation in the continent. In 1824 and 1825, after the battle and the victory of the Bolivarian army, what began to be discussed was the project of Latin American unity. And the press says it. It is part of the work that I came to present here. It is an exercise of the tracing of the way in which the press in Mexico, Chile, Argentina, Peru, Colombia received the victory, how it was published, in what way it was made known that, indeed, in the south of America, the liberation of the territories from the Spanish dominion had taken place. So it is very interesting. They affirm that new research and tools currently allow a constant and renewal revision of what happened in Ayacucho, and that sustains the patriotic discourse of a united and sovereign America after the victory of 1824. There have been two interesting phenomena. One is the digitalization of archives that has allowed new young historians and also recognized historians to show us other visions of that Ayacucho, what happened in Ayacucho, why after Junin the victory of Ayacucho was so important. And secondly, there is a historiographic renovation by not abandoning the patriotic discourse that was always present in the academies of history of the 20th century. A deep agreement in the face of the current challenges in the region, inequality, poverty, and political fragmentation. Hence the importance of an insurgent history that offers other aspects of the independence struggle. Through these 300 years, there have been different forms of participation and resistance of the peoples. It has not always been the same. That is why there is a common thread. We talked about that from 1824 to the present. There is a common thread. There is the peoples in resistance, the leaders that appeared. Our America has a great wealth of men and women who have given their lives for the liberation of all people. From Venezuela, the national government promotes the celebration of the bicentennial of Ayacucho to make a greater communication effort and bring these reflections to the academies and educational institutions. And furthermore, to make an effort now with the new communication technologies of this era to produce pieces like this, as teleSUR is doing. teleSUR is doing a tremendous job. I congratulate teleSUR for the work they are doing in the diffusion of all these materials and this colloquium. You do not know the spiritual food and the inspiration that you have brought us with this colloquium in these days. And I hope that you participate in all the events of commemoration of Ayacucho for the highest thing that we are going to do with our people.
El coloquio finalizó con las canciones
The colloquium ended with the patriotic songs that accompanied the emancipation deeds of Bolívar and Sucre, an unprecedented decoding and restoration of the original manuscripts of those great musicians who expressed with revolutionary fervor the process that gave independence to a large part of the continent, which resonates today in the collective memory and honors the Bolivarian legacy 200 years later.
Luis Francisco Blandón, Caracas, Venezuela.
In Venezuela, the Bolivarian government officials laid a wreath at the National Pantheon to commemorate the bicentennial anniversary of the Battle of Ayacucho. The historical event took place on December 9, 1824, under the directives of the great Marshal Antonio José de Sucre and the liberator Simón Bolívar. The Ayacucho victory was the result of the leader's strategy in conjunction with the courage of the Latin American patriots who managed to outnumber the Spanish soldiers. Precisely at the wreath-laying ceremony, the Minister for Internal Relations, Justice and Peace of Venezuela, Diosdado Cabello, highlighted the importance of the event that dealt a heavy blow to the Spanish forces and set in motion the end of its imperialism in Latin American region. The World Health Organization urged all sides involved in the Syrian conflict towards ensuring a safe access to healthcare in the country. WHO requested to guarantee the safeguard of health personnel, health centers, and the continuity of medical services. On November 27th, terrorist groups launched a large-scale